Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Aimstone channel. Before we go to Bitcoin, I just wanna make quick update on my water fast. Unfortunately, I broke my water fast yesterday, so officially I fasted for 3 days. That was very hard. Yes, before I fasted 3 days, but my intention was to fast 7 days. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go for so long. But look, 3 days is better than nothing, so I will try to do another attempt maybe 2 months after. I need to first rebuild myself, rehydrate, refeed, and yes, I like to work out. But when you fast, you're literally losing lots of water weight, so it takes maybe like 2 to 3 weeks to maybe even like 1 week to go to the previous size. So that is that. And okay, guys, let's start with Bitcoin market. As of the time of this recording, Bitcoin is slightly below $43,000. Yesterday we were about like 43,700 bucks. Now we are slightly lower, but the good news is we bounced back quite nicely from that recent dump. Yes, Bitcoin dropped by 20% from its local high. We were as low as like 38,500 bucks, below 39k. Now we are almost $43,000. Maybe by the time you watch this video, BTC will be about 43k. I hope it's going to happen. Yes, it does take me a few hours to edit and put all this video together and upload it on YouTube. I appreciate your patience. From technical standpoint, we can notice that Bitcoin is right now about this positive support level, which is quite good. I think in the future it will continue going higher. Okay guys, moving on. Speaking of Bitcoin market sentiment, the Bitcoin fear greed index, today we are at 60. We do remain in greed. Yesterday we was 61, slightly higher than we are today, and I think it makes sense because today BTC price is slightly lower than it was back yesterday. If you take a look at the Bitcoin Fear Greed Index, this 3-month chart, we can notice that whenever BTC drop, Bitcoin market sentiment drop respectively. Yes, I think at one point we were even at fear, we were like 46, something like that, but now we are near 60. So we're back to greed. Okay guys, moving on. Today we have FOMC meeting. Uncle Jerome Powell and central bank will decide what they want to do with interest rate. Do they want to hike them, they want to lower them, or they want to keep them constant? Right now the Fed fund rate is at around 5.5%. And if you take a look at this probability table, we can notice that 95% chances that they will remain interest rate at the same level, between 5.25 and 5.5%, and only 4% chances that they will drop interest rate by 25 basis points to around 5 to 5.25%. Yes, most likely they will keep them at the same level. And the main reason why I'm saying that, because inflation still remains elevated. We're still below like 4%. Still everything remains very expensive. However, if they keep interest rate high for a long period of time, they basically shooting themselves in the foot. And the main reason why I'm saying this, because if you take a look at the debt in the United States, I'm sorry, not that, if you take a look at the federal government current expenditure interest rate payment, if you can notice that in interest rate they have to pay more than $1 freaking billion. And let's not forget that United States total tax revenue is slightly above $4 billion. Imagine more than 25% of their total revenue, it has to go to interest rate payment. That is insane. Another thing, I just thought about it. I have to pay taxes. You have to pay taxes every single damn year. But when United States make $4 billion every single year, they do not have to pay any freaking taxes, which is insane. Yes, of course, it makes sense because they, of course, the boss here, which is quite unfortunate. Okay, guys, moving on. Rich Dad Poor Dad author, Bitcoin is protection against the theft of our wealth via our money. This is why I save in BTC, not stocks and not fake dollars. Well, the truth is, I think a couple of months ago he said that he preferred gold over Bitcoin. So yes, why don't you save all your wealth in damn gold? Because gold does not even keeps up with inflation. Yes, since 2009 QE started, they literally inflated their balance sheet roughly by 10% per annum, while gold has been flat for a decade. So maybe gold could be a good in the future, but Bitcoin is 100 times way better than gold. So yes guys, choose Bitcoin over gold. Another post. Billionaire investor Tim Draper. Developers are done experimenting with crypto. They want to bring successful applications back to Bitcoin. Well, honestly, guys, I'm not a fan of ordinals. I'm not a fan of NFTs, not even in Bitcoin blockchain. Who the hell wants those pictures of them monkeys. It's fucking ridiculous. Alright guys, moving to Bitcoin spot ETFs. It looks like Bitcoin spot ETF issuers updated their fees. So for example, we have BlackRock for the 12 months, they will charge only 12 basis points, and after 12 months, they will charge 25 basis points. And then for example, we have Fidelity, which is the second biggest Bitcoin spot ETF issuer, charges so far 0 basis points, but only for until what? Until July, which is like a couple of months left. But after that, they're going to charge 25 basis points. So yes, if you guys want to buy Bitcoin spot ETF, I probably would recommend either BlackRock IBIT or Fidelity FBTC. The main reason why I'm saying this is because those are two the main leaders of Bitcoin spot ETF issuers. Yes, you can buy the cheapest one, Frank Templeton, but how much Bitcoin inflow they currently have? Yes, in the long run, I think there could be maybe 2, max 3 winners when it comes to Bitcoin spot ETFs, because it takes a lot of money to maintain Bitcoin spot ETF. And if they do not have money, most likely they will go bankrupt. First and foremost, to apply with SEC for Bitcoin spot ETF, it costs at least $500,000, and then it takes a lot of money to just rebalance in the portfolio. But anyway, guys, yes, I would choose BlackRock or Fidelity. Yes, you could probably go with like ARK or Bitwise. They also have like more than 500,000 asset under management. Sorry, 500,000,000 asset under management with lower fees. But look, yes, 25 basis points and 20 basis points is not a huge difference. Yes, if you talk about greedy busters, Grayscale 1.5% fees, that's ridiculous. I think Grayscale probably going to bleed Bitcoin, and hopefully they will bleed less and less BTC. Yes, I hope Grayscale will slowly go in bankruptcy. Alright guys, moving on. This next chart represents inflow outflow of all Bitcoin spot ETF applications until January 30th, which was yesterday. Grayscale yesterday lost $220 million. Maybe that's the reason why BTC price slightly declined today. Could be. So the total for Grayscale, they lost more than $5.5 billion of asset under management. However, on the flip side, we have BlackRock. They have inflow of almost $300 million into their Bitcoin spot ETF. Then we have Fidelity, $120 million. Then we have Bitwise, ARK, so on and so forth. So BlackRock is by far the biggest leader, followed by Fidelity. So right now, the total net flows, we have $1.2 billion. Yes, this is indeed quite nice. Imagine if we would not have all this Grayscale selling pressure, we would have more than like $6-7 billion of total net flows. Oh man. Here's actually the chart that shows daily inflows. Yes, yesterday Grayscale lost like 220 million, while BlackRock inflow 300 million, and then we have Fidelity inflow 120 million. So yes, this black box and yellow box, this is BlackRock and Fidelity. So definitely we have the most inflows into those Bitcoin spot ETFs. Not bad. Alright guys, moving on. Anthony Scaramucci predicts Bitcoin to hit at least 170k post-halving. Well, let's take a look. Skybridge Capital founder and managing partner Anthony Scaramucci sees Bitcoin soaring at least $170,000 after the halving in April, when the numbers of the new Bitcoin entering circulating shrinks again. Go back and look at the Bitcoin halving cycle. Scaramucci said on the Scott Mulker podcast, the day that Bitcoin halves multiplied by 4, and 18 months later, it's been uncanny that that's been the price for Bitcoin. He said some more stuff. As of his long-term price target, Scaramucci predicts Bitcoin could easily reach half the market capitalization of gold, which would bring the price of one coin up to $400,000 per coin. Well, I think it will be slightly less than 400k because gold's market cap was like $13 trillion. Scaramucci previously disclosed that he was the first external investor in BlackRock's spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds prior to its approval on January 11. Look, why would you want to be an investor in BlackRock if you can just buy Bitcoin and put in your hardware wallet? This is definitely the best way to do so. And lastly, let's take a look at this quick video where Anthony Pompliano and Henny Rawish is a co-founder and CEO of 21 Shares, partnered with Kathy Wood. He will explain what he thinks is going to happen next for Bitcoin. Let's take a look.
You guys are one of the Bitcoin ETF issuers. You've partnered up with ARK and Kathy Wood, and fast start out of the gate. How do you look at the first 2 weeks or so of ETF launch, inflows, GBTC selling? What's going on in the market?
It's really exciting. Thank you for having me, Pong. It's going a lot better than I think anyone in the space would have thought or realized going into this. It's the inflows are very high, especially for a new ETF. Inflows being high on day one or day two is one thing. Inflows being this high, I think we sold 60 million yesterday or so, almost 2 weeks in. This is sustained excitement, and it says something. GBTC's dynamics are super interesting. We should continue to see outflows. The outflows, people may not realize, are limited. So the market makers are only able to sell a certain portion on a daily basis, which is why it's hovering around the 500 million mark per market maker. And you'll start seeing, again, more sustained pressure there, but it should stabilize at some point. There are a lot of others that are selling out of GBTC for other reasons, like the FTX bankruptcy estate, and that's part of the downward pressure on Bitcoin itself. But aside from all of that, we've collected over $500 million in new Bitcoin in just a few days here. So did a number of other issuers as well. And so the amount of excitement, the level, the speed, and especially considering the institutional investors are not here yet, is really, really exciting, and blew out of the park completely anything that I thought this would be.
How do you think about the bull market playing into this? I got a lot of heat earlier this year when I wrote that the ETF approval probably would not bring us to an all-time high. We would still need the halving plus loose monetary policy. I don't want to call victory yet, but so far it looks like that may be true. We'll see once the selling pressure kind of goes away if that is true or not. But do you think that a lot of the interest will come after the halving and kind of once people start to wrap their head around, more of like what Bitcoin is as an ecosystem and as an actual system than just, oh, now an ETF's been approved, so I have to allocate to it?
Yeah, I think I'm super comfortable with you waving the victory flag already. I agree with everything that you've just said. Look, most of the people that are buying this could have bought it in a number of other ways. We're the biggest global issuer of crypto ETPs, right? Before this. And so where additional buys can really have an impact on our space is when the institutions come in. And like we just said, they're not here for a few more months. So it's not that the Bitcoin ETF is not going to herald this new phase and be of incredible excitement. It's that the institutional flows through the Bitcoin ETF will do that. That is still a ways out. In the meantime, I agree with you. There's a number of additional factors here, monetary policy being one of them. The world has not healed yet. You're in the investment space. I don't think we're back. I don't think VC is back. I think it's still quite fragile. We now see light at the end of the tunnel, but we're not so sure how far away it is. And it could be a few months. It could be another year. And I think monetary policy will need to change in a positive direction to give a more positive sentiment before we start even having a conversation about all-time highs and a new bull market and all of that. I think we're sort of in no man's land. It's clearly not a bear anymore, but I wouldn't bet all of it that this is a bull market and that off to the races and have no worries. The halvening is a very important factor. You, of course, know about it. It will make it more scarce, more difficult, which if demand is higher, then leads to some interesting price appreciation and things like that. But I think that's early as well. So let's see what ends up happening with the halvening, and let's really see what ends up happening with the institutional flows in a few months, with a background of sensible monetary policy and a soft landing and starting to reduce some of these interest rates, not just in America, but around the world. And at that point, we can talk about what does the next bull market look like and what is fueling.
Well, as he said, that bull market has not even started yet, but they are very excited about Bitcoin Spot ETF. They see lots of inflow, yes, 21 shares, I think inflow slightly more than $500 million. And he said that institutional money has not even started buying Bitcoin Spot ETFs. So just imagine if institutions will start buying Bitcoin. Well, who the hell buying Bitcoin right now? I'm sure retailers are not that wealthy, maybe like family offices or pension funds. I don't know. We'll see. And yes, as he said, that Bitcoin market has not even started, but he thinks we are in the recovery phase after Bitcoin halving that will take place in April, and after loose monetary policies, he thinks this is when the real bull market will kick in. Let me know what do you guys think. Comment below, subscribe, and like this video.